Hello and heartily welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Axel Burkart and I will give you a short lecture about the main topic, as I think, as I believe, the main topic of our life, about the biggest secret of our life. I promise you, I will tell you about the biggest secret of our life. And this lecture is a part of our video series about a crash course in saving the world. This lecture was given in a German radio broadcast. And because it's in German, you can listen there if you're good in German. If you want to use a Google Translator or so on, then please listen there. But for the English-speaking people in the world, I wanted to give that lecture originally also in English. Therefore, we have a little bit changed also the setting. You see me in a special chair, very comfortable. I was also sitting at that radio broadcast like that. So please enjoy that. What I promise you, it is the most secret topic of our life. And the title was The Purpose of Our Life and the World of the Angels. What is the topic? The topic is the question, why are you here? Why I am here? What is the purpose of your life? Normally that question is the most important question for us all. And very often we only ask the question when we are suffering. When we're enjoying life, we don't ask so much. Except we are a seeker of truth. But normally the people often then, when they get a crash, a divorce, a sickness, if they're losing their child or whatsoever, then they ask, why I am here, my God? Is there existing a God or not? And what is the purpose of my life? I will tell you. And where is the knowledge coming from? What tells us what is the purpose of our life? Physics, natural science can't tell us. There are many religions, they all tell us different stories. There are so many philosophies, they tell different stories. But there's only one science about the spiritual world, and this is the spiritual science or anthroposophy, which is coming from the so-called initiates. In all old spiritual cultures, they have these big masters, the saints, the initiates. They were called the seers, the rishis, the maharishis in India. And the rishis, the maharishis, the initiates, they were able to look into the spiritual, the divine world. They had their third eye opened and could see the spiritual beings, could communicate with them, could talk with them, and could listen to them about what is the truth about the spiritual world. And that's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm teaching, and that I want to tell you about that. It's not my knowledge. It is the knowledge of the new science we call anthroposophy or spiritual science or Geisteswissenschaft in German. And it's a spiritual science brought from Rudolf Steiner. And he was a big initiate. And he brought up that old knowledge which is there for many thousand years the first time in a scientific way. And so we have, the first time in the history of man, the chance to study spiritual worlds and to study the question, who am I? And what is my purpose of being here? What is my design of life? Why I am here? What is my destination? What is my karma? And so on. This is scientific knowledge, and you can study it, and this is the purpose of this channel. And if we look back in the Christian tradition, And then we will find about 400 after Christ that some guy came, it's called Dionysius, and he's called the Dionysius the Areopagite, who wrote a book about the 9 choroi of angels. We call it in the spiritual science the spiritual hierarchy. If you go to the big domes in Europe, then you will find pictures on the ceilings where all these 9 spiritual hierarchies of beings are painted. They are well known since 1600 years. It's nothing new, what I tell you. It's nothing new. Go to a Catholic mass, go and listen. They talk about the thrones, the thronoi, the angels, the archangels, and so on. What are these beings? We know about that there are 9 different hierarchical beings above us. And this is the first thing we have to know. The second thing what we have to know is, behind our life, behind the purpose of our life, is a wonderful plan. God has not just created, or the Trinity as we say, or the Godness, not just created this universe and our solar cosmos, but He has a plan, and a plan for us. Not only for us, for the other beings also, but there is a divine plan for us, and this is the beautiful message, and the message of hope, which I will give you. I know this is hope. I know that this knowledge will give you power, will give you strength, will release your anxiousness, your frightness. I know that, because I'm teaching that since many years. And this divine plan tells us about our divine purpose. And this is related to these hierarchies. So just listen and hear what these scientists and all the spiritual people since thousands of years tell us about this hierarchy. First, there are beings which we know the best. The angels. In Greek, angeloi. We know that we have a guardian angel. Even atheistic people, even materialistic people, if they come into big troubles, or even if it happens, bad things to them, and they are secure, then they suddenly say, oh, it was my guardian angel who saved me. Suddenly they believe that there is such a being. And we know this is the truth. There are these angeloi, the angels. They are one step over us. They have one more capability, one more spiritual power than we as a human being have. And they are called angeloi. That means the messengers of God. And above them are the archangels, or the archangeloi in Greek. And above them, in Greek, the beings on the 3rd level are called the archai, or arche, where the German and English word archetype, or archetype, is coming from. And they are called in the spiritual science the spirits of personality, because they give us our personality. They are responsible for that we have a personality. Our guardian angels, they guard us personally. The archangels, we know, they guard folks. They guard nations. They are the guardians of a people, of a folk, of folks. So there are 3 different beings, 3 levels above us, and they are called the 3rd hierarchy. And then above them comes the 2nd hierarchy. And the 2nd hierarchy starts with the so-called, in Greek, exousiai. And from that Greek word comes our word executive. The executive power is the government. So that means these exousiae. And Martin Luther took a German translation. He called them Gewalten, the executive, the powers. And they are called in Hebrew Elohim. So what are these exousiae? They are also called in the spiritual science the spirits of forms. So these are the powers which can form material worlds and give us our forms. And they are actually the sun gods. And in the New Testament they are called the 7 gods in front of the throne of God or the Father. So these beings in the 4th level above us are the sun gods. Their body is the sun. Every planet, every sun is the body of spiritual beings. This is the first thing, or one of the first things which you learn from spiritual science. There is nothing in the universe which is not spiritual. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, which has not a spiritual being behind it. So you are a spiritual being behind your body. And behind the sun, there are spiritual beings. And these beings are called the exousiae. And if we look in the Old Testament, then it is written in Hebrew. And in Hebrew there is written Bara Bereshit Elohim. There is not a God, never. There are the Elohim. It's plural. Therefore, later on, it's always called and said, let us create a human being. Not let me create, let us create. It is not one God. And this is what is the fact in the Old Testament. This is not a thesis, this is the fact. So we have to hear and to see and to understand that in this old scripture, it is written from these beings. They are the creators related to the Old Testament. And one of these 7, this is what we learn from the initiates, from the initial science, from the initiation science. We learn that one of them is called Yod-He-Vav-He, Yehovah or Yahweh. So he is one of the 7 who finally took the job, the task, to lead the Israel folk, to lead the Israelites, the Hebrew folk, to bring out the Messiah. This was the destiny of that folk. This is correct. And who was the Messiah? Which is unfortunately not recognized by the Jewish people today, but by the Christian people, by the spiritual people in the spiritual science. This was Christ. Christ was the Messiah, and the Hebrew folk exactly fulfilled their job. They fulfilled their destiny and brought the Christ to the world, because he is another one of these 7, and he is actually the leader of them. So Jehovah and Christ, they are brothers. They are on the same level, they work together. And there is not a God in the Old Testament and not Christ as a God in the New Testament, because Jesus Christ always spoke about the Father. And the Father of the Elohim is the Father of all spiritual hierarchies. and it's also our Father. And Him or it we call the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. This is the God. But this God or this Trinity is far above even these exousiae. I will come to that. But this is the first thing we have to understand. There is in the spiritual world not any fight between religions. There is no fight between Jehovah, Yahweh and Christ. This is not existing there. It's only existing on the human level, on the religional level. And it is not the truth and is not the reality. It's our reality. The time of religions and the religional wars is past. Religion time is out because we have now the spiritual science. Religion was out in the 15th, 16th century in relationship to the material world through the material science, physics, natural science. Now, since we have the year 1900, when Rudolf Steiner brought the new spiritual science, that there is no need for any blind belief in any religion anymore. That doesn't mean that religions are bad, no, but we don't need them anymore. Only in the relationship, in relation to that we don't have to blindly believe anymore in any outside authority, because we have now a science of the spiritual world. Therefore, we can free ourselves from any religion, from any confession, if it is Catholic, Evangelic, if it is Islam, if it is the Jews' religion, whatever religion, they have done their job very well, but now the time has passed. Now we are free to find the truth within ourselves. This is science. And from that spiritual science, even in thousands of years, we know. You know, even in the Quran it is told that Jesus was a prophet of Allah. It is told there. That means what he have told must be the truth, Judaism, Islam. We know then since thousands of years, and now through that new science, that above this fourth hierarchy above us, there are 5 others. So the sun gods, which are living in the sun and which are governing our solar system, they are only on the first level above us, and the next one they are called by the Greek people the dynames or dynamis, the spirits of movement. Above them are named the kuriotetes, the spirits of wisdom. And these 3 hierarchies, they are called the second hierarchy. We have the third hierarchy, angels, archangels, and archais. And we have the second hierarchy, exousiae, dynames, and kuriotetes. And above them comes the first hierarchy, the most powerful hierarchy. Very, very powerful. And if you believe today that flesh and thunder are coming from natural forces, then you have to ask Max Planck, the founder of quantum physics. He told, behind every physical power must be a physical being. He told us even that. So behind flashes and thunders, where we believe they are natural forces, right? But behind natural forces are beings, very powerful beings. And this is the first hierarchy. And the first of these 3 hierarchies, they are called in Greek the tronoi, the thrones. Game of Thrones. Today we have these television series. Now we have the Game of Thrones. This is another powerful game in the world. The thrones are very, very powerful, but they are even only the first in this upper hierarchy. Above them, even more powerful, you know them also from the Bible, they are called the cherubim, the spirits of harmony, the spirits of harmonies, the spirits of harmonical order in the universe. Why the thrones are called the spirits of divine will. And above them and before the throne of God, immediately before the throne of the big Trinity, the utmost God, there are the seraphim, the spirits of love. The spirits of love. These are the 9 hierarchies of the 9 choroi, angel choroi. One chorus, another one, we have 9 of them. This is the knowledge of the spiritual science. This is the tradition knowledge in the Catholic Church. You can find all these 9 hierarchies in the New Testament. Read it, you will find them all. You can listen to my other videos on my channel. There are videos about the places in the New Testament. This is nothing new, but now we have it scientifically. So, this we know about the hierarchical world, about the spiritual worlds, and we know that there is a divine plan. We will show you a short picture. This divine plan has a plan for all these hierarchies, but it has a plan for you and for me. And this plan we know very well. They told us about that because we have the Gospels. And that teaching or that new science is a new gospel, because gospel just means Evangelium in German. The beautiful or the joyful message of the angels about Christ. And nothing other is the spiritual science. Today it's a new gospel. This we have to tell. This is a religious word, but finally it's a scientific word. So we know about this plan, this divine plan. And within that plan it's found our destiny, our purpose, our sense of life. Why are you here? What are you as a human being on that earth? Here is the message from the angels, because this spiritual science is their message. They tell us how they call us in the spiritual world. They call us the 10th hierarchy. They call us our brothers. They call us our followers. They call us our new followers. They call us the spirits of freedom. My friend, my friends, we are the 10th hierarchy. We are designed as spirits of freedom. This is your destiny as a human being. This is your destination. And this is a divine destination. To become a free spiritual being. And I can tell you that not before, and this is the biggest secret, I promised you to tell you about the biggest secret of your life and my life, and the life of all human beings on this earth. The biggest secret is that you are designed, we are designed as the 10th hierarchy. We are designed as the spirits of freedom which has never been before. This freedom which we shall work on, this freedom which we shall achieve, is a real freedom. It is a freedom as children of God. If we are children of God, if you believe that, then it means that we are becoming creators. And a creator, my dear friend, must be free. Otherwise, he cannot be a creator. So if you believe that you are a child of God, then think about what that means. That means that God, the Trinity, has given out a plan that we really become children of Him. And children means that someday the father and the parents say, now you are grown up. Now I give you the freedom as my child. This is what Jesus Christ said when He said, my Father, and I am the Son. And He told us, and you will become the sons of the Father. This is the message of true Christianity. There is nothing other message than that, because this is all written in the New Testament. Read the New Testament. Don't go first by confessions or churches or religions. Go by that what Jesus Christ and the Gospel, the four evangelists, the four Gospel teachers told us. Because Jesus Christ said, I will send you the Spirit of truth. Look in the Gospel of St. John. I will send you the Spirit of truth. And this Spirit will make you free. And he said, or Paulus said, and love only enjoys with truth. And Jesus Christ said, I am the truth. And this Spirit of truth will be a testimony of mine when He comes. This is a secret message and the most important message out of spiritual science which I can give you. It's not my knowledge. You are designed as a free divine being, as a child of God, to become a free being, to become a free creator. This is your destiny and my destiny, and this is the big and the divine and the huge purpose of our life. And this I wanted to tell you in that lecture. And what we have to learn now, if we go on with that, saving our world, to understand politics, to understand the wars, why they are going on, to understand that we only have to have this knowledge, to understand that behind all the material world there are these divine beings, and not only divine beings but also their enemies, their contradictors. We call them demonic or evil beings. Yes, they are there. And this we have to know. They are as real as we are divine beings. Please understand, this is not an imagination. This is the truth. These beings are there, these evil beings. And the divine beings are there, the divine hierarchy. But these evil beings, they are a part of the plan. They are not evil as evil beings, never. They are there, designed by God, destinated by God, to have that role to force at us to create our freedom. Because if these powers would not be there, we would never strive for freedom. So the evil must be there, it must be here. And the big German scientists and artists and poetry, writer, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, so beautifully wrote, I am a part of that spirit who always wants to create the evil and always creates the good. Mephisto. Mephistopheles. It's a Hebrew word. But even Goethe didn't find out what the truth is. We will come later on to that in the other videos, that there are two beings behind that, but that's another topic. So, Mephisto must be there. He is a part of the divine plan, so it's never a question of fighting against the evil. This is the biggest mistake we can do. We have to work together with a hierarchy. We have to accept the evil which is there to be a force, to force us to strive for freedom. If these forces wouldn't be there, we wouldn't do it. Therefore, the evil must be there, and this is a very important message. And what these evils really do not want, they don't want your freedom. They are fighting against your personal, individual freedom. And this is the fight which is going on. It is a spiritual fight. And therefore we have to understand that all political fights are nothing else than an expression of a spiritual fight. As long as you don't understand it, and I do not understand it, and we do not understand it, that this is the truth, we will always be manipulated by these forces. And these are the forces of power, these are the forces of mammon, these are the forces of money, and so on. And it's good that they are there, because they are the forces to force us, to request us to become free. And this is the first knowledge which we should have, what we need for all the coming videos, to have this overview, what is the secret of your life. The biggest secret is, you are the divine being, you are the child of God, designed to become a spirit of freedom. And it's your choice, and it's my choice, to go that way or not to go. To go for freedom or be manipulated by the other powers and follow them and being manipulated and being guided and being misguided. So you are a spirit of freedom, and it's your decision, and it's my decision which way you go, which way we go. And this is the fight which is going on earth. And every political discussion which we make, which takes not into consideration that spiritual knowledge, is for nothing. Because then we are misguided, then we don't know what is going on. And my job and my destination and my task is to tell you that. And that's why I'm here, and I try to do my best to give you that knowledge which is not mine, which is the spiritual knowledge which is there, which can lead us to freedom, to become a real child of God, a spirit of being. So that's what I wanted to tell you. In short, the main thing what I have to tell, all other things are based upon that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. and I'm happy if you join the other videos. Thank you so much. Your Axel Burkart.